Hello everyone. Our lesson today is about germination of seeds. Again, as we mentioned or as we explained in the previous lesson, the seeds it will develop from the ovule. The ovule, after fertilization, it will turn to be a seed. Now, how this seed it will germinate or how this seed it will grow. So for our lesson we have some objectives. Our objectives are, firstly, you should be able to define the term germination. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to know what is germination and you should be able to give a definition for germination. Second one is to understand the conditions required for germination. When we will see the process of germination, or when we explain the process of germination, we will see this seed it will germinate, but to germinate, to grow, it will need some requirements. Okay, we will see what will be these requirements. Then the last objective for this lesson is to describe the structural changes that accompany germination of the broad bean. We will see if there will be favorable conditions for germination. Then after that, what are the changes that it will take place or it will happen to the seed. After forming the fruit, after the formation of fruit, the fruit it contains seeds, so this it will help the seeds to disperse. What do you mean by that? When you will eat, for example, any kind of fruit, this fruit you will take it from a tree, then you will eat it. So now what is happening? These seeds are dispersing, are moving away from the tree. They are moving away from their original place. This dispersal, it will allow a plant to spread their seeds, okay? And when these seeds, it will spread, if it will face any favorable conditions, or if there will be any favorable conditions, this seed, it will grow. So, the development of a seed to a new young plant is called germination. This is the answer of the first objective. What is germination? It's the development of a seed to a new young plant. How this it will happen? Seed, we should understand what is seed. Seed it's what? Seed it's made up of an embryo and a food store. All of them are enclosed by a coat, or we call it testa. Now, the germination to start. The germination to start, it will need some conditions. Let's see what are these conditions. Conditions for germination. A seed needs the following to germinate. Any seed to germinate, to grow, it needs these requirements. So, they are, number one, a supply of water. As you know, whenever you plant any seed, the first thing that you do to the seed, it's what? It's watering them. You will give them water. So there should be a supply of water. Then oxygen for aerobic respiration. When the seed it will start germinate, we said inside the seed there is what? There is embryo. This embryo is a living thing. To grow this living thing, it needs what? It needs oxygen. Okay, it needs what? It needs energy. It needs food. So how this embryo will get food, or how this embryo will get energy? So there should be firstly oxygen, and by the process of respiration, which it's releasing energy from food by using oxygen. So there should be oxygen, so then a process of aerobic respiration it will happen, then it will provide energy to the embryo. Then a temperature suitable or suitable temperature. What's that mean? Seed to grow, it has food in it, and this food to give out energy, this process by respiration, it will need some enzymes. Okay, so these enzymes, as we mentioned before in the previous units, we said enzymes, each enzyme, it work in a specific temperature. Okay, for example, if the temperature will be favorable or will be suitable for the enzyme, so this enzyme will be active. When it will be active, so the process of aerobic respiration, it will take place, and then the seed, it will start germinating. If we want to explain the process again, here it's the process. We will start from here. Firstly, you will have dormant seed. Dormant seed, what do you mean by dormant seed? A seed that it's inactive. Okay? The seed, here you will not say the seed it's a dead thing. No, it's not. It's what? It's just inactive. It's inactive until there will be a favorable conditions like the one that we just mentioned. Now, again, let's review the structure of a seed. A seed, we said it consists of embryo, okay, and this embryo, it has food store, and all of them are enclosed in a sac. We call it seed coat or testa. Okay, 1, 2, 3. These are the main part of a seed. Now, if there will be favorable environmental conditions, let's say there will be water, there will be oxygen, and there will be a suitable temperature. What will happen? The water will start entering the seed. The water will start entering the seed through this part. We call it micropyle. Micropyle is a small opening in the seed coat. Okay, so what will happen now? Water enters through the micropyle and activates enzymes to convert insoluble stars to soluble. What are these insoluble stars into soluble? Here are starch. Starch, we said it's an example of carbohydrate, and it is what? It is insoluble. It insoluble, then by water it will be converted, by water and the enzymes, it will be converted into glucose, which is a soluble substance. Glucose, it can dissolve in water. Another example, also we have protein will be converted into amino acid. Then when water it will enter the seed, what will happen? Makes tissue swell so that testa is split open. When water it goes inside the seed, what will happen? The tissues here will swell. When it will swell, it means it will be bigger in size. When it will be bigger in size, it will make pressure on the wall, on the testa or the seed coat. What will happen to it? It will split. Okay. Now, after that, water, oxygen. When water, it will split the testa or the seed coat, the oxygen now will be able to enter the seed. When oxygen will enter the seed, now what will happen? The aerobic respiration process, it will happen. When aerobic respiration process happen, now the embryo will get food, will get energy, and will start to germinate. Okay, so now compare between first step and last step. Here, look at the embryo. All of it, it was where? It was inside the seed coat. But now, what happened? The embryo, it grows, it starts going outside the seed coat. So, this is the process of germination. One more thing here, we call it dormancy. Dormancy, we say it's the inactive stage of seed. Okay, the dormancy, this stage or the inactive stage, it will continue until the seed will have the requirements, or it will have the conditions for growing, which is uh, uh, oxygen, water, and favorable or suitable temperature. Now, a dormancy, a seed will keep dormant until, if kept in anaerobic conditions, if kept in dry, kept in cool. Okay, so if these three conditions will be in the seed, this seed, it will not grow, and we call it dormancy. Dormancy. The term dormancy, what do you mean by the word dormancy? Dormancy is when you have a seed, and this seed, if that seed does not experience ideal conditions for germination, okay, this seed, it will not die, okay, it will not die. So these seeds, it will survive for a long period of poor conditions, okay. Once the conditions, it will improve, once the conditions, it will be ready for germination, okay, now the seed, it will germinate. So a definition for the dormancy: seeds survive in a rest state calling dormancy, which during which they use hardly any food. So dormancy, it's what? It's a state that represent a seed when it's inactive. Structural changes during germination. Now, when there will be a favorable conditions, the seed, it will start growing. When the seed, it will start growing, here we mentioned some changes that it will happen inside the seed. But at the same time, there will be some changes that it will happen to the outer structure of the seed. We will take this seed as an example, broad bean seed as an example. Okay, this kind of seed, it grows in a way we call it hypogeal germination. Hypogeal germination, it means what? It means below the ground. So the growth of seed below the ground. Now we will see what are the changes in the structure, into the changes in the outer structure. What will happen during germination? Firstly, this is a seed, and we have two parts inside the seed. We call them radicle and plumule. Radicle and plumule, these two parts, they form the embryo. But the first part to grow, it's what is the radicle. Radicle, we said it will form the young root. Because plant, as we know, to grow, firstly it will needs water. So the first part will grow, it's what? It's the root. So the plant will be able to absorb more water to give it for the other parts, and the process of germination will continue. So first one, radicle will grow. Then the second change, it will be what? It's the plumule. Plumule, as you can see here, it will start growing after the growth of radicle. So the plumule, it will form the young, it's the young shoot, which then it will form the stem and leaves. After that, the third change, it will be, as you can see here, the cotyledon, it will start showing. Why it will start showing? Because when the root, it absorbs more water, the internal parts, it will swell, and it will split or erupt the coat. Okay, so plumule grows upward, retaining its hooked shape. Okay, cotyledon, it will shows. Then as you can see here, if you will compare between these two parts, the plumule here, it keep growing, okay, and the head of it, it's hooked. It has like a hook shape. Then after that, now look at the root, okay, lateral roots increase. Here it was only one root. Now more parts. The root, it's dividing, it's forming more roots. We call them lateral roots, okay. And also if you look at the plumule, okay, now how the shape of it will change. Last thing at the end, okay, foliage, leaves open, okay, this is the foliage, this part we called it foliage. Foliage, now the leaves are it open, okay, plumule, it's straight, and food stored in the cotyledon provides nutrients for growth and energy. So here now, as you can see, the testa or the coat, okay, all of it split, it broke down. Now what's left? Plant, small plant, it's getting food, it's getting food from the cotyledon. So these are the steps of growth of seeds. This graph, it shows the change that it will happen to the dry mass of the seed. What do you mean by dry mass? Dry mass, it's what? It's the embryo and the cotyledon of the seed. Now, what will happen? Here it start the mass. Then when when the seed, it will start germinate, what will happen? The mass of it will decrease. It will be less. So dry mass falls as part of food stored is consumed by respiration. So when the seed, it will start consuming some of the food stored in it, so what will happen? Of course, the mass of it will be less. Here we will see the mass, it will fall more quickly, okay. Here it will fall more quickly. Why? Because here the growth, the process of growing, it's accelerated, it's being more faster, okay. So it's faster, sorry, because it's faster, so it will consume more food. Until here we will see it will start increasing. Why it will start increasing? In this step, the foliage, this leaves, when it goes up, it opens. Now this leaves, as we know, leaves are responsible for the process of photosynthesis. Now what will happen? This leaves, it will start making more food and sending it to the parts of plant, and now the plant, it will start increasing in mass. So mass begins to increase as first foliage leaves start to build up food compounds by photosynthesis. The questions, it will be your task. You can find the answers from this topic. All the answers are clearly shown, okay. So please, again, write your name when you will finish watching video, and also if you have any, please, comments, suggestions, please write it. I hope everything it was clear. Thank you and have a good day.